There you go. You're on.
Hi everyone, Sarah here from the Paper Cut. It is Thursday night and we are doing Fun Time Thursday. Oh, check sound and video. Hang on. I can hear myself. Okay, there we go. Alrighty. Oops. So, it is Thursday night. We have our Fun Time Thursday tonight. So we're doing our Grillin and Chillin class, and oh, I wish I was like Grillin and Chillin right now. It's we had well, our new grandbaby was born early on Sunday. He was actually due, I think he came exactly a week early. So yeah, it's been, but chasing a toddler around for a couple days is, yeah, it's a lot. And then I had my daughter's two dogs and their dog too. So that's why I could use some chillin'. So I'm chilling here tonight with you. Not grilling, because that wouldn't be a good thing to do inside. But yeah, so we're just going to be hanging out, making our 4 cards. And like I said to my mom, oh, we might finish early. Yeah, probably not. But she's like, yeah, right. Okay, like 2 hours later. So let's go down to the table while people are still getting on.
All right, there you go.
Okay, so we are doing this card. So this week I am supposed to post for Crafter's Classroom, and I know what I'm doing, and I have 2 cards done, but I only have 1 sample to show you because one card was one card I actually gave to my daughter's fiance to give to her, and that's like a new house card. And I did the baby card because I got babies on my mind. So it's a clean and simple. So it's life events, clean and simple style. So this is the baby card, and then I have the new home card. So we'll do 5 different, and I'm going to get these posted tonight. I promise that because I did the image for them. So, and you can see the other card when you look at the image. But then today, you know, I've had a few ideas swirling around in my head for Fun Time Thursday for July, and I think when I was mowing the lawn today, I decided, because I do a lot of thinking when I'm mowing the lawn, because what else are you doing? You're just pushing the lawnmower. So anyways, I decided for Fun Time Thursday in July, we're going to do Fractured Cards 2.0. So if you missed the Fractured Cards the last time, or you just had so much fun and you want more, we did them in Crafter's Classroom last time, so we're going to have 4 new designs of Fractured Cards for July. And I don't have any of those done, but I did do an image, so I'm going to post both of those tonight. I know, if you're standing up, you might have just tipped over, knowing that I was going to post both Crafter's Classroom and Fun Time Thursday at the same time. But I'm going to post those tonight. So if you want to order both, you know, without seeing the samples, you can go ahead and, you know, order those at the same time. I know it would be something new. So anyways, but if you ordered Fun Time Thursday, we're doing Grillin' and Chillin' cards. So I just went and pulled a kid. My mom's here with me. She's being quiet tonight.
I know.
She must be tired too.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's, yeah.
So today,
Been out in my garage and I'm grungy and.
oh. so today I was, you know, at work. I mowed the lawn, and then I got done mowing the lawn, and I'm just like, you know what? I'm mentally done. I'm leaving. I'm gonna go see my Eagles. So
I left too.
So my mom left too. So yeah, I went and watched the Eagles for an hour, and yeah, they're almost getting ready to leave the nest. So it was pretty exciting. It was a pretty exciting day because one was on a branch, which means that they're almost ready to fledge. And then the parent came in and brought a meal, which I think was a fish, but I'm not sure. And so yeah, I got to just sit and relax for an hour watching. So
That was nice.
yeah, it was nice.
Yeah.
It was kind of chilling. I
After-
almost fell asleep.
Oh, goodness.
Or I may have for a few minutes. So our cards that we're doing, we have 2 beer cards, but then there's an extra. Like if you're not into beer, we die cut. And I didn't do specific samples with this. I gave you this, so if you're going to design something different, you have pieces to do that. But I didn't do a specific design with that. But we gave you like the hurricane glass, or the umbrella drink glass, and then we gave you some words that are like iced tea or lemonade or just relax and breathe. So yeah, you've got some words in there and you've got that. So if you want to alter the beer cards, I only gave you one glass, but there's plenty of other words. So anyways, and then we have our 2 grill ones. So let's do the beer ones first. And I'm just going to set this aside because I'm going to do them as a beer card. So I'm going to set my glass aside, and then I'm going to set my 2 grill ones aside, which I really need to get my grill fired up.
Wow, can you hear my computer?
I do hear your computer.
I can hear it too.
Her computer might be like kicking the bucket pretty soon.
I think.
So
I can hear that with my new hearing aid.
let's go on. Let's do this one first. This one I actually don't even have a sample for because the sample I gave to my son for his birthday. So no sample, you just have the sample to look at on the Fun Time Thursday thing. And so we'll just do it together. So in this kit, you have an envelope, which we're going to set aside. You have a card, which it's, I think it's the Les Beau Ivory. I'm almost positive. And then you have an embossed piece. And I did this just because I thought it looked kind of like a barrel, like an old time wood barrel that beer came in. So.
Oh, they're going to Big Bear. Laura Siegel's going to Big Bear next
nice.
weekend for Discovery Weekend that just celebrates the eagle's nest.
Yeah, that's one of the eagle nests I watch. One of the eagle's nests that I watch too. Online though, from further away. So, anyways, so we have that. Let's just, actually, yeah, we can attach this piece right on. Now, you can put the straight lines that are bumped up, or you can put them embossed down. So I think I did it this way. You have your straight lines right here. And I think I did instead of it embossed up, I think I did it embossed down. There's no right or wrong. So you just do you, man. Or woman. I'm tired. I was up last night and then up early this morning, and so I might be a little punchy. What did you use to do the embossing? The embossing folder was, I think I put it on there. I think it's Alta New embossing folder, but let's see. I'm almost sure it was. Yeah, it's an Alta New embossing folder, one of their 3D ones. Because it was a 6x6 one. That's how I know it was Alta New. So I use the paper that I'm using underneath, and it's a little off-white, which is great when I have a white card. Now this one is closer in color to that, so it blends in a little bit more, but I'm not going to switch it. So now this piece, I'm just going to pull my little instruction sheet. Usually I don't even look at my instruction sheet, but since I don't have the sample of that one, I'll just leave it right there. Now this piece I did cut just slightly above and below the beer can, so it cut off some, or the bottle opener. I think they both are about the same. So it cuts off some of the beer bottle, but that's okay because we are going to fussy cut out the beer bottle and then pop it up on there, and that's what it hangs off the top and the bottom. So you're going to cut this piece just slightly smaller than this, which it's just slightly above the beer can and below the beer can. So let's do that. And it's hot in here. It's like 80 degrees outside, but I was cold in here.
It was 84 earlier.
Yeah. And but sometimes it's chilly in here. So I'm taking my shirt off. Not my shirt, my outer shirt. Taking my long sleeve shirt off. Oh my gosh, I'm sweating. So we're just going to cut this slightly below the beer can, and it's going to cut off some of the beer bottle. Now, this is Brass and Bliss. They are new, or the set is new. So sometimes it comes up, is there a die? And the answer is, I believe they're doing dies. So I'm cutting it, and you can wait to cut it for a minute, but I'm cutting it at 1.5. So, but look, you can wait to cut it and see if I cut it at the right dimension. So I'm pretty sure there will be dies. Oh, mine is a little bit narrow, but that's okay because I think I did that so you could just trim the copper. I think the copper I did wide. So yeah, you can cut it at 1.5, and then we will attach it onto the copper mirror card, and then you're going to trim your copper mirror card. So that's what I'm going to do. And if you don't like doing that, you can go ahead and trim your copper mirror card to 1 5/8, so an 1/8 inch bigger than that one. But I like to attach it on there and then trim it. And this one I did not pop up yet. $73 in Washington. That's like a nice temperature.
Man, I love that temperature.
Yeah, I do not mind the 80s, but right at this particular moment, I am a little sweaty. And when I was mowing the lawn, I was a little sweaty too.
Well, I went to Brass and Bliss there and typed in "wish you were beer" and nothing comes up.
Well, it could be that new. So they might be doing it in their next release.
Okay.
Because really they just gave it to me ahead of time. So yes. Or try typing in the number, Mom.
Yeah, that's what I did.
Okay. So
that's what I'm doing.
Sometimes I get their stuff before it's actually released to the public, and
yeah, that's not.
And they let me use it. So this, I think they release like on the 15th of the month. So now,
it's not there yet.
Yeah, this one, this oval, I did cut. So I just kind of lined up the words. So I lined up the words with my blade, and I just cut straight across.
Wow, they got summer in Idaho. It's 93.
Wow.
Wow, Wendy.
Yeah. And I didn't cut the top because the top just kind of layered underneath there. So I just cut the bottom, so I had a straight edge on the bottom. And then we can put our trimmer away. For now, we're going to need it. Never fear, we're going to need that trimmer a lot later. And then we're going to fussy cut out the beer bottle. I always leave some. Now, if you do Stamplistic classes, you always trim right on the black lines and then you go around. When I'm fussy cutting out images, I always leave, some of the white space, or in this case, it's cream. So, the new grandbaby, okay, details on the new grandbaby. His name is Oliver Allen Justison, and he was 8 pounds 3 ounces and 21 inches long, and he is just the cutest darn thing, and I think he's perfect. And I could be a little biased, but I really think he is.
Oh, it's okay to be biased. I wore my love being called Nani shirt in honor of him. Not today. But.
So that was a really easy trim out, the beer bottle.
So are these stamped and then you colored in, Sarah? Not Rubbernecker, Brass and Bliss, I sometimes get images pre-colored. So they do come, when you get the stamp, they come with just the black and white, and then you color them in. So now I'm attaching this onto there. You can line it up directly at your edge, or you can pull it up and do it, just with a nibble it in between there.
like 1/16 of an inch.
Well, you can't see this. It's 97 in Denver.
Holy schmoly.
Holy schmoly.
Okay,
right.
that's a little obscene. It's probably like that in Arizona too. Okay, then see, I didn't cut the top edge because that I'm actually going to overlap, and I did pop this up with foam tape. So let's get some foam tape out. Actually, I did pre-cut some foam tape today
That's nice.
because I had some. So when I pre-cut my foam tape for classes, I like do it on a little ribbon spool, so then it's easy to just chink chink pull it off. And I do that if you come to classes in person. I always give the tables. I always pre-do some foam tape, so then people don't have to take the time to cut their foam tape.
We went to Denver once and we expected it to be fairly just nice, And it was summertime and it was like 102.
I don't think I've ever been to Denver, but maybe I haven't been there during the summer.
Oh my gosh. Who'd expect to be that hot on the mountain?
Yeah. Well, yeah. It's that hot like when you go to Arizona, but not. Okay. So this we're just going to pop up.
Yeah, way too hot in Denver. Yeah, you're right.
So, yes, the grandbaby is here, adorable,
and a great snuggler, right?
and a great snuggler, yeah. They say he's chill. He's the second one. They say Ev was not chill, but he was the first one.
If they have a third, just wait till they find out what that's all about. Yeah, go ahead, do what you want.
Right.
They're climbing on the bookcases. It's okay. They'll survive.
So this piece we're going to pop up, but you're going to make sure, not to put foam tape at the way bottom and not to put foam tape at the way top. And then I did use crystal lacquer on mine. It's kind of hard to see, or diamond glaze or glossy accents to the bottle. And that's totally up to you whether you want to do that or not. Sometimes when I do, what am I saying? When I do like diamond glaze or glossy accents as a whole thing to gloss the whole thing, I sometimes get a little bit of wrinkling. I'm not sure if I put too much on or what, but that's why I'm putting quite a bit of foam tape, because the foam tape holds it down pretty good. And I think then I won't get the wrinkling. At least that's my mental thought there.
Wow, the record high in Denver is 105. And that must have been, they did it in 2018 and a couple of times in 2012 and 2005.
Oh, because you just looked that up, or did somebody tell you that?
No, I just looked it up because I wanted to see. Yeah, it was probably 2012 when we were there. And it's like beastly hot.
So this was a pretty quick and easy card. And when I was making it for Jake for his birthday, it is one of those that came together really, really easy for me. So these are separate stamps, and I just arranged them the way I wanted to arrange them. Okay, so now if you want to do the crystal lacquer, you can. Don't do it if you don't want to. Because remember, when you take my class, you do you. Okay, I tested it on a scrap piece of paper because you never know. And I hate it like when you're doing something and it just scooshes out all over, because there's nothing worse than that. Hang on, I'm grabbing a piece of. So I have another piece of Now, when I put this on, it can go on thick, but if you have a better tip than I'm using, you can kind of just push it towards the edges. And it does look a little bit white as it's going on, but I'm not squeezing it. I was just trying to push it around with the tip. And actually, I've got this little do-jobber here, and I can push it around with this if I want to get it out towards the edges. And it will dry perfectly clear when it's done. It kind of goes on kind of like milky looking, but I kind of like it, gives the bottle a nice little glassy look. So I'm going to set it totally aside so I don't, because that's the worst when you do something like that and then you smudge it up because you put something on top of it. Alrighty, that was quick and easy. Let's go on to our beer salad card, which now I have the samples over here. Okay, so let's go on to the beer salad card. This one is the technique that I showed with the strips a couple weeks ago, I think it was. And then Emily Henry posted one on the fan page, and I really liked hers. I was probably working on mine around the same time she was working on hers, and I already had mine done when she posted hers, but I really liked hers too. So, and I did figure, she said she used something, I think from Tailored Expressions, but let's go through our pieces first because there's a lot of pieces in here. But I kind of figured out, remember, because when I did my first one, the points kind of went crooked, and I kind of figured out a way to do that. But let's go through our pieces first. First we have our scored card. We have a text insert, so let's attach the text insert first. When I attach a text insert, some people put tape on the whole thing and then just slap this down, and then you'll get buckling in here. So this is my little tip and technique for attaching it. Put tape right on your score. If you're using a 1/2-inch tape, you can just put one strip. Don't go all the way out to the edges, because look at the text insert. The text insert is a 1/4 inch from each edge. So if you go all the way to the edge, you have exposed tape there. So then I take my folded text insert, which Becky already folded it for you. I hold my card at a 90-degree angle, and I take the folded edge of my text insert and I set it right into the score. I don't do it when it's flat, because if I go, if my eyes are being buggy or something and I go over that score, then it's going to buckle on that inside too. So I hold this at a 90-degree angle, kind of set that right into the score where the tape is, and then I just fold that flat, and then I have my text insert on the inside. Now at this point, if you wanted to attach it so it didn't flap open, you could, but I kind of like the little bit of dimension that it gives the inside of your card. So we'll set that aside along with your envelope. And then let's look at the rest of the pieces. So we have a piece of, I think this is ivory again, and this is going to be our layer. So this we can just kind of set back here. We don't need it quite yet. Then we have our sticker paper, which it's crack and peel. So one side, it has the lines on it, so it can crack and peel apart. You don't have to do that yet. But the white thing is our sticker paper. Then we have our Mai Tai circle, our beer circle, which we're going to color. We have our words. We can pick which words we want to use. If you didn't like the beer word, there's cheers. Then you have some strips.
Sarah, what's the weight of the paper in the text insert?
The text insert is a 70-pound text, I think.
Oh, wait a minute.
Or it's either a
80-pound vanilla, is that?
Oh, the 80-pound vanilla is this piece. The text insert, did I forget to put the text insert on there?
I maybe just have not seen it.
No, I forgot to put it on there.
Okay.
So I want to say it's a 70-pound text weight.
Okay.
So, but then you just have a bunch of different colors to cut into strips in order to do this design. Now, you do need, I don't know why I wrote, oh, I was working on baby card. You need a piece of scrap paper that's cut to about 2 1/4 by 2 1/4. And I'm going to show you why. Or you could use a scissors too, but, or not a scissors. You could use just a ruler, but I'm just going to cut a square. And I think I did it 2 1/4 by 2 1/4. And you can use a ruler, and you don't have to, but if you have a piece of scrap paper, just cut a piece that's 2 1/4 by 2 1/4. Then we are going to cut a bunch of strips. So all of these strips on here, I did mine at 3/8 of an inch. So you're going to cut just a bunch of 3/8. Yep, mine are cut to 3/8 of an inch. So just go ahead and start cutting some strips. Some strips like you can use twice, you know, you can use on both sides. But I would cut 2 or 3 of each color. And I think most of these are close to 2 inches. And if it's not totally 3/8 of an inch, that's fine too. Let's see, are these 2 inches? Yeah, they're mostly just 2 inches or slightly smaller. So if you're at 2 inches, you can just go back to 1 5/8. So just start cutting a bunch of strips at 3/8 of an inch. If you want to do a 1/4 inch, do a 1/4 inch. You do whatever you want to do. But cut it for sure 2 of each color, if not 3. And if you don't like one of those colors, don't use it. You do whatever you want to do. I have to get this one. This one was a slightly smaller. I don't know why.
Ice.
So yeah, cut a bunch of strips. Now, the first card, if you wanted to do it like the colors, I was thinking about that earlier today. The colors, while I was mowing the lawn.
Yeah. I figured I was waiting for that to come.
Yeah. The colors of the first one with the copper, I was thinking, well, that one, if you didn't want to do beer, you could always do like sweet tea, is kind of that copperish color. That would be good for a sweet tea card. So this one, if you didn't want to do a beer card, you know, you could just use something else. Like when I did the card last time, I think all I did was I stuck a word stamp down here, and I didn't even put a circle on there when I did this as a demo. So yeah. Or if you have a different type of glass, you could use one of the other words. Now the words that are on there are white, and you have kind of some creamy tones, so you could brush blend, try to say that 10 times fast, brush blend it so it's like more of a cream rather than a white. I should have been smarter when I printed it and printed it on the, you know, the off-white. But I must have not thought about that at the time.
You weren't cutting grass.
I wasn't cutting grass. The darkest one, the only place I used it was the strip going down the middle. So the darkest one I only cut one, but that's up to you. And if you're like, hey, that's too many colors in there, and you just want to narrow it down to less, you can do whatever you want to do. I liked this mustard color. Now this mustard color is a discontinued color, and I think we have a little bit left. But yeah, unfortunately, and you know the other color that's discontinued that's really hard to find, like from any of the other paper mills, is like a good olivey color. Because this weekend, I'm putting a bunch of blue stuff on the sale page because of baby boy stuff. So I'm taking a bunch of die cuts and I'm putting them on the sale page, but only in blue. And when I was thinking, oh, what kind of little special could I run? His name is Oliver. So I was thinking, oh, if we have a bunch of stuff in olive, but no, we don't.
Oh.
I was like, olive and blue, that those kind of are boy colors that look nice together. But yeah, there's not a good olive colored cardstock. I'm getting to the end of my trimming, and I'm sure I have way too many strips here. Like, I probably don't even need, I like this color though. So I'm going to just cut myself one more of this one. And then this kind of matched too, even though it's honeycombs. It kind of, I liked it. I liked the color of it. All right. Okay. We have strips galore there. And our sticker paper. Where did my, oh, here's my sticker paper. Okay. So we are taking the backing off of our sticker paper. Now I'm not sure what the thing, like I said, Emily Henry said that Tailored Expressions had some type of tool or whatever. But what I figured when I did it, I didn't have my first strip as like a perfect square. I didn't have it like as a like perfect square, so then it started to angle up like that. So so I just took my pen and I put a little hash mark here, and I put a little hash mark here. That's why you could use a ruler, you don't even need a square. But I put a little hash mark here and a little hash mark there, and then, well, you can't see it, but there we go. There we go. And then when I put my first strip on there, I did it across where I intersected that. So that makes it, you know, a perfect square. So then it will be even. Where when I did it the first time, I probably was, you know, didn't have it perfectly straight, and then it angled one way. At least that's what I think. That's my theory. So I am going to attach my first one. Now, when you're looking at this, mine is more off center. And so I'm actually working, when I turn it around, the V will be closer to, you know, down here. So that's my first one. And then my second one, I butted up against there. at the corner of the paper. Now, if my theory doesn't work and I'm crooked, then I don't know why. But when I did it, where I kind of measured my 2¼ or 2¼ or you could do 2 inches, and that might put it more in the middle. That seemed to work. So now you're just going to work your way down, attaching strips, and you're going to butt them right up against each other. So flush up against that edge, flush up against this edge, and just kind of attach them to the sticker paper. Now the sticker paper is sticky.
Well, that's a good thing. I really don't like it when that sticker paper isn't sticky.
So the ones that we are on this short side, like we could cut these off and use them, reuse them again. So just be careful, not be careful, but your hands are going to tend to stick to the sticker paper. That's why I kind of start here and I'm kind of putting my fingers right there, so I don't stick my whole hand to there. And then you're going to go flush right up against that edge. Then you do whatever pattern you want to do. When Emily did hers, let's just say when she did hers, she used all of the same paper, which it was this one, and it looked really cool. It's from the Woods and Metals pattern pack, but she used all of the same paper, and there's like little herringbone like in here, and so it looked really cool. Now I have some of the printed ones are a little bit shorter than others, so you have to make sure that those work. But you could fill in these areas up here too, depending on how you're working your pattern. And if like this color is too bright for you and you don't want to use it, you don't have to use it. I just gave you a whole assortment of stuff that you can use whatever you want to use. I don't like that one next to that one. So just kind of keep working your way, and this will be your line. I hope my line is going straight. But if it's not, that's okay. It doesn't have to be perfect, people. Because it's handmade. It's not Hallmark. And again, if you want to cut some of these off, that are longer here, you can reuse those down here, or you can use them up here on the top. Especially if you start to run out of strips. No, I didn't even use those. But I might take my scissors and snip that off. Now you still have the straight edge right here to attach, but I think I can use some of these little ones. Now you don't have to be doing that. I just did that because I feel like I'm running out of strips, which maybe I'm not. Oh wait, I think I did that. Oh, I messed that one up. See, I did this one first instead of that one. Oh well. I don't think anyone's going to notice. And if they do, too bad. My circle might even cover it up.
It's unique. So
It's unique. Yes, it is. Yeah, I start talking and I forget what I'm doing. Imagine that.
start talking on top of a very tired grandmama.
Oh my gosh. Trying to keep up with a toddler. Oh my gosh, where do they get their energy from?
You know, when Leah was born, and you and I traded some responsibilities, and I picked up Leah at daycare and brought her home and fed her dinner, and
Mm-hmm.
I thought, oh man, God had us have babies when we were younger, so we didn't. I was hauling all this stuff around, and I couldn't figure out what the heck I was doing. Oh,
Mm.
yes, it was exhausting.
Yeah, but I wouldn't trade it.
No, not ever, ever.
And this is totally the reason why we are not traveling. Because, yes, I would not give this up for anything. So yeah, if anybody wants to know why we're not traveling, that's why. Now I have a tiny bit of white right there. I'm going to wait till the very end. And I might even just trim that off. So let's see. I need some little snibbly pieces to just finish out my pattern up here. And up here. And up here. And let's see. Oh yeah, there we go. More honeycomb. And yeah, I'm missing a teeny tiny piece right there. Let's see if I can find a small piece. Doesn't even matter what it is. Okay, now we are going to trim. Let's just look really quick. These are the exact same size. So this is our layer, this is our sticker paper. So we want to trim in on the sticker paper at least by a 1/16 of an inch, because that's going to trim out, trim off all of anything that's uneven, especially because I pre-cut some off. So when you trim this, if you can see that, especially this first one's going to be a little bit hard. So the first one, I might take my scissors and go trim it, because I need to make it square. Okay, so now I can actually see the edge of my paper, and I can pull that over by like a 1/16 of an inch to square it up. And now I have my straight edge, and now I can follow my sticker paper but cut like a 1/16 of an inch off all the way around. Now I have another straight edge. And another straight edge. And this is why we did not pre-attach this piece onto there, because now if we do trim too much off, we can take and we can, just trim a little bit off right there. So mine, if I want a smaller border, I could do that. I think I might just call it a day. On my sample, I have a smaller, no, I don't, not too much. But yeah, if I wanted a smaller border, I could now trim this one a little bit smaller. But I'm okay exactly the way it is. Having a hair of a bigger bit border. Okay, so it was going straight. It actually did go straight across there pretty good. I did mess it up in here. I can see my pattern is a little bit off. That's okay, because like on my sample, I did take a piece of the darkest one, which kind of matches this printed paper, and I kind of put it right over that middle section. So if you want to attach that actually on there before you attach it onto the cream, because then you can snip it off on the edge. So I'm going to do that. I've got all my little snibblities over there. And I am going to take one of my strips, whichever color. I used the darkest brown, but you do whatever you want. The darkest brown is the one that matches the A2 scored card. And I had a little glitch in mine. So I'm trying to cover up that middle section, and I had a little glitch with my pattern. But you can't even tell. I mean, maybe you can, but my eyes can't. Okay, so now we're going to attach that onto our vanilla or ivory piece. And we're going to attach that onto our scored card. It's only one-sided sticker paper. Now, if it was two-sided sticker paper, then you could peel that backing off, but it's only one-sided sticker paper. And now we can attach that onto our scored card. Okay. Do you see how I like lay it down and just make sure that it's correct before actually taping it? And then I kind of get a visual on what the border is before actually gluing, because there's nothing worse than putting it down and then having to pull it off. You may as well just leave it down. Now, let's go ahead and you can pick your words, which this time I think I'm going to pick the cheers, and I could cut that with my trimmer too, so let me get my trimmer out again. And I'm going to show you the little trick that I used, which I did see this on, I don't know where I saw it. I don't know if I saw it on Stamp Junkies or if I saw it on, what is the, I can't remember it. I know we've talked about this before, and I think Wendy Little's the one that told me what it was. I get an email from them every week. Can't remember at the moment.
Oh my gosh.
So right now, if I attached this on there, this would be just a hair up because it's got one layer more of cardstock because of this. So instead of using foam tape, I used foam tape on here, but if I want something popped up and I don't want it popped up as much, I can just use a piece of scrap cardstock. So the very top of my cheers is going to attach to that. So I'm just going to attach a couple layers of scrap cardstock to the back, and that's going to pop it up just enough. So hang on. It doesn't even need to be perfect. Well, I shouldn't have ripped it. I should have cut it.
Split Coast.
Oh, Split
Stampers.
Coast. That's it.
Yeah, thanks,
Is
Wendy.
that Wendy again?
Yes.
Yeah. But this one I want popped up a little bit more. So if you want to, just pop it up with a little bit of cardstock, because then it's not popped up as high as with foam tape. So if you want things at different layers, you know, just use some scrap cardstock to give it that extra little bump, but not too much. Yeah, Split Coast Stampers. That's it. It was on the tip of my tongue. So we've got that. And then let's go to this one. Now you can, I did pop it up, and if you want to pop it up twice, you can. And then I did, but I'm going to color it first. So I colored it.
Did you hear?
What?
Did you hear a? Oh, maybe it was
That was
just
a truck
Okay.
outside.
Okay. All these new sounds I'm hearing.
Yeah, my mom got new hearing aids, So yes, she's hearing like a lot. And I'm checking on what colors I used. I don't think I wrote them down. This is Y15. I don't think it's that color. YR23. Yeah, I think that's what I used. YR23 is what I used here. For the beer. Now I guess it depends whether it's an ale or an amber or whatever. I don't know my beer because I actually am not a beer drinker. But even though I don't drink beer, I do know people that do drink beer. And there's like non-alcoholic beers too. Some people drink beer, but they drink the non-alcoholic. So even though you don't drink beer, you might know somebody that does. Now for the top, the white. I forgot to bring in here what I was going to use for that. Hang on. So for the foam right here, you could use a, what was I going to say? You could use a white paint pen, which I don't have one sitting here. Or you could use the thing I used this weekend, the gelato, with a Dove blender, which I don't have that here either. So hang on a second, I'm going to go get a Dove blender. And maybe I have one in here. But a white paint pen would be good too. It's just my white paint pens, usually they dry up. So, okay.
Make it a root beer float. Yeah, that would be good.
Oh, a root beer float, that would be good too.
Yes, yes.
So hang on, let me see if these work instead of a Dove blender. Yes, root beer would be great on there too. That's an awesome idea.
Yeah, I like that.
I like that idea too. But let me see if this will work. And you don't have to color that white, but if you can get it white, then it makes it a little bit different than the cardstock. And this one isn't working as well. So I'm going to go find a Dove blender. Hang on a second. Talk to my mom. She doesn't need to tell stories about me, but she could if she wants because I'm going to be out of the room.
Oh, yeah. I get in trouble if I start telling stories. But that's okay, because that's what moms do sometimes. She's such a good grandma. Oh my gosh. Taking care of that little Everett. Well, Mama and Papa are getting used to another new baby in the house and taking care of those dogs. Oh my gosh. But she did put her foot down. Well, she didn't have to put her foot down today, actually, because she had 3 dogs here. She had her daughter's 2 dogs and her son's dog here. So I think we ought to open a doggy daycare, and I think we could have a lot of fun with that.
What?
A doggy daycare.
Oh. Yeah, sometimes I feel like I have a doggy daycare because I have, like this week I had my daughter's dogs and I had Jake and Kirsten's dog. Thank God I didn't have both of their dogs because Teddy sometimes drives me crazy. I might give up on the white for a minute. But usually I can take
for that weight.
What? I did this. I used a Dove blender and I pulled. Or there's a white Sharpie that you can use. But I might just give up on this for a minute. Because you guys can't see it. Oh, no, you can see it. It's white. It's whiter. So maybe you can't see it, but that's okay. If you have something that you can make your foam white, you go ahead and do that. Anyways, I'm going to use foam tape and attach this, foam tape and attach that. And then I am going to use my crystal lacquer again. So
where did you put the crystal lacquer on this one?
just on the yellow.
Just, okay.
Which this one I filled right up to the top. When I did this one, I didn't fill it quite to the top.
Okay. Oh yeah, I see that.
Now, I am going to put pretty big pieces of foam tape behind here to try and get it not to like warp when the crystal lacquer dries. I like the root beer float idea.
I do too.
Who had that idea?
Let's see, who said that? Carol Monique Minogue
That is a great idea.
Johnson, Carol Johnson.
Yes. Root beer float. And like one of the other sayings that's in that other thing, I don't even think it refers to a drink. It just says
Oh,
like,
Kathleen Ressler Moore said that. That's
relax and stuff like that. Breathe, relax, friends. So
it was Kathleen Ressler Moore that said make it a root beer float.
that's a great idea. Again, I'm going to use my 2 big bottle of diamond glaze. Oh, geez. Now I don't trust it. I'm going to squeeze it and I'm going to get a big loop. Oh, yep, there it is.
Did you get a big loop?
I did get a big loop. It's just I did it on something else. Yay.
Yeah.
That was smart. And I am going to take my little stick.
Oh, I see it.
Yeah. I'm going to take my little stick and just spread it out. And then I'm going to set it aside to dry just like we did last time. All right. Okay, so there's our number 2. Those are our 2 cheers cards. And then let's go on to our grill, which we're going to do this one. This one has the most cutting. So we just finished some cutting. We're going to just do some more cutting.
Sarah, did you get a call from Jake when they were headed to the hospital?
I did not get a call. They headed to the hospital, I think, around 11 o'clock at night. Jake texted me at 4:30 in the morning, and I texted him right back, and he was like, "Wow, I was surprised that you texted me back." I just happened to like wake up, so it was fate.
Yes.
Okay, so now we're gonna go on to our grill card, and this is an easel card. And where did I put my kits? Hang on a second, I gotta find my kit. I had them here. Obviously, I had them here. Well, I'll be dipped in butter or something. Hang on a second. Oh, here it is. Now this one has a bazillion pieces, and you're going to need your personal paper trimmer. So let's first open it up and go through our pieces. So we have our envelope. Set that aside. We have our easel card. Now the easel card opens up like that, okay? So it kind of stands up like an easel. So on this card, it's a steno card essentially with a score in it. And it's also our horizontal banded Z-fold, but it's just folded differently. So if you have easel cards, you could, if you make your own band, make a horizontal banded Z-fold. If you have a horizontal banded Z-fold, you could not use the band and make it an easel card. Multi-use. So let's just go ahead and attach, well, let's look at our pieces first. So we have our red. We have two pieces of red. The bigger piece goes on the front, the littler piece goes on the inside. We're going to attach the inside one first so we don't get it confused. So look at your white that fits with a border that's closer to the red. Do not stick it on the bigger one, which has like a 1/4 inch border. You're going to stick it on the smaller one, which has a very narrow border. The bigger one is for the front. Now the red that we used, this is a stock that I don't use very often, and we will discontinue it when it's gone because we don't sell very much of it, but it's called Skin Red. It's got this really softer feel to it, or chalkboard paper. Not a few years ago, probably quite a few years ago, there was a paper out there that was called chalkboard paper.
Oh my gosh.
So we have the black one and we have the red one, and it's called Skin Red and Skin Black, but it can be used like with the chalk on it. So there you go. These are our words. You can set those aside, and then we have this stuff that we're going to fussy cut out. This is going to be for that band on the inside, and then we have two pieces of white leather-like that are going to end up layering on the front. Then we have a piece of silver, a piece of black leather-like that are like the same width or length. Those are going to be behind this piece. So these are going to layer together. And then these three pieces are for whichever word you pick that's going to go on the front. So we can put that with our words. Okay, so here we have it. We have the smaller piece of red that our inside word fits on. We have our card, our bigger piece of red, our two pieces of leather-like, those are all together. We have our printed piece with our tongs and our burger and our hot dog, and a piece of silver mirror card and a piece of black leather-like. Those are all the same length. Those go together. We have these that are going to get fussy cut out, and then we have our little pieces that you're going to layer behind the words. Okay, so just so you have all of your stuff together, let's start. We're going to start right here because we're going to glue these two together so we don't get the two pieces of red mixed up. So we're going to take the smaller piece of red and it's going to layer with our words, and then we're going to layer that on the inside of the card. So yeah, this one had a lot of pieces. That's why we needed to go through that. But this red, even though it's called Skin Red, and I don't know why it's called skin, but it's supposed to be like a soft stock, and it's, the chalkboard paper, it's just a really, really nice shade of red. It's a really nice shade of red, which it's hard to tell that online or anything. So now we have our easel card. We have our scored. This is the front. We're going to open it up, and we're just going to attach this to the inside. We're going to get that out of the way. And I actually might need to open up my directions because I think I put actual dimensions on here for trimming stuff. Okay, now for the front. See how it doesn't stand up? Like if we put this whole piece of red on here on the front, the whole thing will stand up. Where I kind of wanted it where just the grill popped up. See that? Just the grill popped up. So we're going to cut this red to fit. We're going to basically cut it in half, and it's going to fit on the top and on the bottom where it's split at that score. I mean, technically you could score it and bend it over the top, but I trimmed it So one half attached to the top above the score and one half attached, that's bad English, attached
Yes.
to, one half attached above the score, kind of flush with the score, and the other half attached below the score, flush with the score. I am going to get out the directions because there's actual measurements on here, and let me cut first just to make sure that I have it correct for you. Trim the skin red layer in half to 2 5/8. These will fit on the card front. So let me cut mine first to 2 5/8 just to make sure I have it correct. Because I have extra paper here if I screwed something up. So 2 5/8. Yep. And well, you might need to take a hair off of that. Oh no, it probably fits. 2 5/8 and 2 5/8. And then that's going to attach on there. Yep. Okay, so we're going to attach those. And they are kind of flush. They're going to touch each other. So it's flush with that score. Mine might even overlap the score just a hair, but they're kind of butted right up against each other. I'm doing this one now instead of last because this one has a lot of cutting to it, just like the one we just did. And then the easiest one is last. At least I think it's the easiest one. Actually, that very first beer card we did, that one was pretty easy. And it's okay if this one, slightly overlaps, as long as you can open it up. And I'm going to show you why. See, they're butted right up against each other on the front. And then when you open it up, then you can open it. Okay. Now, the next pieces, you have 2 leather-like pieces and one is longer than the other. And the reason I did that was because it slightly overlaps right here. Because then it kind of covers that little gappy area. So the smaller one is going to go on top, and it is has an equal border on all 3 sides. So the smaller of the 2 goes on first, and it goes on the top, and it goes with your equal borders all the way around the top and the 2 side edges. Now you will have a gap on the bottom. That's okay. You'll understand why in just a minute, hopefully. So I used the smaller one on the top, and I'm lining it up to the 2 side edges and the top. Okay. Which then there's a bigger border down here. Don't worry about that. This piece is cut bigger specifically to overlap that, so you don't see that little gap in there. And then it kind of covers up where you're seeing the black right there. It covers it up so it's like a solid white when you lift it up. So if that makes sense. So when you're attaching it on there, don't put tape on the top like 1/4 inch. See how it's not attached at that top 1/4 inch? That's just overlapping so we don't see a funny line in the middle. I don't know. I've never done it this way before, but I sometimes like see a funny line here, and I was like, how can I get rid of that funny line? And this is my way of getting rid of that funny line. And maybe you don't think it's funny, but I thought it was funny. I don't know. That's the one thing about the easel cards that I was just like, that bothers me sometimes. But I didn't put tape along this top edge because it's going to attach to this top part that's actually folding towards the back, if that makes sense. So now you're going to line it up to the bottom edge and the two sides, and it overlaps this top part by about 1/4 inch, which I have no tape behind here. See that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Good idea.
I think that makes sense. Because then it looks like I have a solid piece of cardstock, a solid red, because I butted them up against each other, and then I have a solid white because I kind of just overlapped them right there. And because I'm using the textured stock, you hardly notice that's there, I think. Anyways, okay. Now, let's go on to this piece because this is cut smaller, and then I cut a layer of silver to fit behind it and a layer of black to fit behind that. But look, I also used the extra silver right here and extra black strips right there. Originally, when I designed this, I did not have these strips right here, and it just looked like it was floating in midair and it kind of needed something. So that's when I was like, huh, and I took and I added different width strips right there. So if you don't have to put those on if you are like, nope, I'm good with it just on a solid white. I just personally thought it needed something, so I took my extra strips from this and I used them on the front. So first thing we're going to do is cut the hamburger hot dog thing. And let's see, did I give you the size?
Let's take.
Yep, 3/4 inch. So if you want to make it bigger, you can, but I cut a little bit of the tongs, so I cut a little bit of the tongs and kind of right at the top of the match. And then I cut it at 3/4 inch, approximately. It could be a little bit more if you wanted. So I trimmed that smaller. I attached that to my piece of silver, and then I trimmed it.
Everybody's working so hard. They're really quiet.
Well, I know I'm keeping
tonight.
them busy tonight.
Yes.
Because there's a lot to do in this one. If it's hanging off slightly, you can trim that off with your scissors, which mine is just a hair. Sometimes when I cut pieces at a different time, they're off by like a 32nd or a 16th of an inch. Why, you ask? I don't know. So I just cut that with a small border. And while I'm doing that, if I wanted to, I could cut a strip of silver. This I had at approximately 3/8 of an inch. I don't think it matters if it's bigger or smaller. If you want to wait to do that later, we can, but as long as I was cutting the silver mirror card. So then you have an extra piece of silver mirror card. Now we're going back to our inside. I attached this to black. Now this I did pop up with foam tape. You can attach it flat, but eventually something needs to pop up right there, just because that stops our easel from sliding down. If it was totally flat, it might slide over the top of it, but if we have it popped up with foam tape, then it catches. So let's see, the black is about 1 inch. So the black piece, that's the very bottom piece, is about 1 inch. And again, any of those can be altered. We'll wait, we'll finish attaching this, but we're going to use the leftover piece of black for these 3 strips right there, if you so desire. So now I did pop this up on there, and then I attached it to the inside. I might make you nervous if I have my blade up. So we could attach this to the inside just with regular adhesive, and then we're going to pop up our silver mirror card one and our hot dog hamburger one. So I'm going to attach this. Oh, did you see Becky had some cookies out there?
Oh, no, I didn't. Oh,
There's cookies out there.
okay. Thank you.
Chocolate chip.
You want one?
I'll get one when you can bring me one, but I'm not going to eat it like until I'll take it home. Thank you. Okay, so we have our piece of black. We attached it flat, and then we're going to make sure to pop this up. Now we could have just attached it flat to the black and then popped the whole thing up. Totally up to you. My mom likes chocolate, so she probably drinks hot chocolate all summer long because she likes her hot chocolate, or she likes her chocolate. So that's why I knew when I told her there were chocolate chip cookies out there, thanks to Becky, that she would be like, oh, yeah, yes, please. So we popped that up. There we go. So that's our piece that stops our easel. Okay, so let's go back to our, and these fit on there perfectly too.
I found the last chocolate donut. Too.
Do you want to put mine just out by my
Sure.
thing? See, she found a chocolate donut too.
We were talking about that.
I said you like chocolate. I knew when I told you that there were chocolate chip cookies out there, you'd be like, ooh. Yeah, there was one chocolate donut left out there too. Anyways, so I already cut my piece of silver mirror card, and then I'm going to cut 3 black strips, and the directions say approximately 3/8 of an inch, 1/4 of an inch, and 3/16 of an inch. You can do whatever you want. There's nothing that says they have to be these sizes. So again, you do you. You do whatever you want. If you don't want to cut them, if you're like nuts to that.
Oh, and I found the chocolate Ghirardelli that I brought last week.
Oh.
I put chocolate frosting on the chocolate.
Oh man, you crack me up sometimes. I saw that you were taking that home. I saw that you were taking that home.
It's just got a little bit left in it. I'm just going to put that in the microwave and warm that up a little bit. Then I'll get a lot more out of it.
Then you'll put it in your hot chocolate.
Mm-hmm.
So even after I cut 3 black strips, I still have a hunk left. So, you can cut whatever you want. And I did start with the bottom, and I worked my way up with just a slight border between each one. So my bottom one, my middle one, my next widest one, and then my silver mirror card. And again, if you want them wider, you do them wider. It's up to you. So, okay. I think the narrowest one is too narrow for my tape, so I'm going to get my glue press out for my narrowest one. I like plain cake donuts because that's what my mom has a chocolate cake donut.
Yeah.
But I like just the plain cake donut. I don't like the flavored cake donuts. That's just me.
Yeah, I like the plain ones too.
Everybody has their preference. Okay, so then I'm going to go on to my next one. That I have to get my 1/4-inch tape gun out.
I would never pass up a cake donut. Do you make your own, Sarah? Have you made donuts?
I think I have, but not regularly.
Yeah. We didn't do them regularly when you were little either, but every once in a while we'd make donuts at home.
I remember making them in home ec.
Hmm.
When it was called home ec.
Mm-hmm.
Who all had home ec and shop class, or
Yeah, you did.
was it called shop class?
I think so.
But I know it was home ec. And you
When I
learned-
was in school, just the girls took home ec and the boys took shop. That was it.
and
But
then
when you were in school, you did both, didn't you?
right. But that's kind of where I learned to sew. You know, and then you always had a sewing machine set up, but we did sewing
Mm-hmm.
and cooking in
Yeah.
home ec.
I built that sewing machine in on Summit Street.
I know.
That was kind of nice.
Mm-hmm. All right, so there we have our little lines here. And again, if you didn't want to add those, you didn't have to. I just thought it added something, so I did. So now let's go on to our words. Now for this, if you're ahead and you're gonna fussy cut this out, and again, these I just added extra. So I didn't even put these on my card. If you want to cut them off and use them for something else, you can. If you want to use them on the inside, you can. You do you. I'm going to throw them over here on my pile, and Becky's going to stick them in somebody's grab bag. And if one of you guys gets it, you're going to be like, I got the one from the class. Anyways, so you can use whichever words you want. The everyone is on the grill. Oh no, this one we used on or everybody chilled at is on the grill. We used it on the next card. But yeah, you can use whichever word set you want. And even if you wanted to, use like the happy birthday, you could have used that on the inside if you wanted to. So, yep, I just gave you an assortment of words.
Almost looks like the grate of the grill. Yeah, it does.
Oh yeah, it does. I didn't even do it for that. I just did it because I thought I had it there, and I was struggling a little bit because I had it just as a solid white, and then I'm like, it just needs something else, and that's what I did.
Oh, now they teach financial awareness. Now that's good.
That's a good class.
That is a really good thing.
So you are going to cut whatever word you want, and then it's backed with silver. So it sits directly on the silver, and then it sits directly on the black, and then it's popped up on the red, and then it's flat. So I like to attach, if you want to measure your pieces and add a little onto it, I like to just attach it to my silver and then trim it. And if you screw it up, there's probably a little bit extra of every stock in there. I like to just attach it with an equal border on two sides and then trim it. But however you are comfortable doing it.
Yeah, Laura, your daughter's 30 and has never written a check. Who writes checks today? There aren't very many people that do that anymore. Businesses still do. But Sarah, I think even you pay a lot of things online.
I pay a lot online. There's
No, Ron does everything by check, doesn't he?
Yeah. But I do everything online.
Yeah, me too.
So this is one that if you didn't want to pop it up with multiple layers of foam tape, where you could do the trick that we used before, where you just take some scrap cardstock just to give it a little bump up, but not the full foam tape bump up. So I kind of really like that trick. I'm kind of digging that. I did that on this actual sample, but I forgot about it. Like I popped up the white a little bit higher. So I might take my black and, oh no, the black I'm layering on with foam tape.
Laura, I'm so glad they were teaching financial awareness in school now.
Yeah.
I took my first personal finance class when I was a non-traditional undergrad student in my mid-30s. And
Now I'm popping it up with foam tape between the black and the red. Okay, go ahead.
and and it was amazing. I flew through that class because in my mid-30s I already had 3 kids and
Right.
apartment buildings and things like that. So I knew all that stuff. But there were so many of the traditional students that didn't know what in the heck we were talking about and what they had to learn. They were just amazed. So I'm glad they're teaching that in high school.
Mm-hmm. That's great. All right, so there's that piece. I'm just
Postage is so expensive. When I was growing up, postage was 3 cents. When it went to 5 cents, it was back in the dark ages, Sarah.
Okay, now we're going to fussy cut out our grill, if you haven't already, because that was one of my homeworks, if you chose to do the homework. I'm just doing it here, so. Again, I like to leave a little bit of white space, and when they do get these posted, maybe that's why they haven't posted them yet, is because they're waiting for the dies to come in.
Mm-hmm.
But they will have matching dies, because I think Brass and Bliss, aka Rubbernecker, does like matching dies for all of their stamps, or at least most of them.
Postage is going up again in July.
Really? I didn't know that.
Who pays any attention to that anymore? Because doesn't everybody buy forever stamps?
Well, not if you're doing like me, where you have to mail out all these first class packages.
Don't you still buy forever stamps?
Well, I do buy forever stamps when I put one stamp on.
Oh, yeah.
But if postage goes up for my class kits,
Mm-hmm.
doesn't matter if you have forever stamps or not.
Oh, I get it. I understand. Oh, yike.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, your letter price, if you buy a bazillion forever stamps at the lower price, like I did buy a bunch of forever stamps. So I mailed to a couple vendors, and
You send checks to a couple of vendors?
yeah.
And you send invoices out too, I suppose.
No, I don't send invoices out.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
But I send a couple vendors. If you use a credit card, they charge you like a 3% fee. So
Yeah.
I mail them a check. Just because I don't want to pay the credit card fee.
Yep.
So anyways, I bought a bunch of forever stamps, and yes, I probably only paid, I don't know what I paid for them. I think I bought them when they was 45 cents.
Yeah.
But I think it's up, I don't even know what a forever stamp is right now. Is it like 60 cents?
Well, I don't know, but you can buy discounted stamps online,
Mm-hmm.
And we wondered whether those were for real or not.
Mm-hmm.
I had them checked out by the post office, right? Kathleen Ressler Moore said she thinks she heard 73 cents.
Holy schmoly.
Holy schmoly is right.
That used to be the, in 2019, the 2-ounce stamp, which was when, like, Jake and Kirsten got married. We had to use the 2-ounce because their wedding invitation was 2 ounces. And the 2-ounce stamp was 70 cents. So now if the regular, wow,
Yeah.
wow is
That's
right.
in 5 years. That's in 5 years, Sarah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
That's when I think it was in the 40s.
Yeah.
And now it's up to 70 some. Wow. You don't even, like the 2 ounce is probably close to $1.
Yep. Up from 68 cents.
Ooh.
68 cents is.
Yeah, I did not pay 68 cents the last time I bought stamps.
Wow. Well, I told you, ladies, 3 cents is what we paid.
Yeah, my mom,
When we first
she
got
had
married.
3-cent stamps.
Oh, when it went up to 5, we thought, what the heck? That's a lot of money. 5 cents.
Wow. Wow, 3 cents. That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's when a gallon of milk was how much, Mom? That's when a gallon of milk was how much?
A gallon of milk was like 34 cents, I think. A loaf of bread was 15 cents.
Wow. Wowzer.
But here's the other side of that.
What?
I was only making 45 cents an hour
Oh.
when I got out of high school.
Oh, yeah, that's true
Yeah.
too. Okay, so now let's talk about attaching our stuff. So when we attach this, we're only going to put adhesive or glue on this back part, so only up to like the bottom of the grill, because the top of the grill is going to pop up. Okay, kind of work on your placement, because your words might cover up one leg of your grill, and that's okay. But you also want to remember that your grill top is going to kind of hang off the edge. So I attached this with foam tape, and you only want to do a little bit in the area where it actually attaches to the grill. You don't want loose adhesive back here. So let's go ahead
And gas prices.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, gas prices 25 cents a gallon. But you know, when we went to, we bought our first condo in Florida in 1998, and gas at that time was $1.05 a gallon in Florida. $1.05.
Wow.
But when I was first learning to drive, gas was 25 cents a gallon. Oh, Virginia Hebert said 1968, gas was 21 cents. Well, yeah, I started to drive in.
If you're using a glue, don't use too much, because you don't want it to get on the front of the mirror card, because it's hard to get off. Remember, tape only, or adhesive only on part of it. You know, because if you put adhesive on the whole back of the grill, you're going to tape your card shut, and then you'll have a flat card. And that's fine, but you won't have an easel card anymore. This, I'm just using regular adhesive.
Okay, so now we talked about all those prices. when in 1963, when we had our first baby, the hospital bill was $150 and the doctor bill was $150. And I stayed in the hospital.
Are you serious?
I am serious. And I said to my dad, oh, that's a lot of money. And he said, just remember this, Sue. It's not the cost, it's the upkeep.
That is true. Okay, so now we're on our grill top, and you know, it might, I don't know how it's going to be easier to judge. It might be easier to judge just sticking the adhesive on here and then sticking, yeah, I think that's probably the easiest. Stick a hunk of adhesive on your grill and then just attach that. So, there you go, our grill card. I struggled with that, with the bottom of this being solid white. So, but I really liked how it came out with the gradiated stripes down there.
Yeah, I like that too.
All right, now let's go, our last card is, now this one is from Brass and Bliss, and I think that this one's online. This die is actually, and I don't think I have it in here, I think it's the librarian has it already, but This die is actually overalls. So it's got like straps that go up here and then the little buckly things that go right there. And I'm like, that would make a perfect apron. So I liked it. I converted it. And so it might be called overalls or something like that. And I converted it to an apron. So let's see what we have in here.
Nice.
We have our envelope. We have our card. We have 2 layers. The larger one goes on the front and is milkweed. The smaller one goes on the inside and is cream. So let's just go ahead and put those on there right away so we don't mess them up.
Okay, so here's one more price.
Okay, one more.
Saturday matinees,
Okay.
14 cents.
Wow.
But if you didn't have the 14 cents, you could get into the movies for 10 Surefine labels.
For what?
10 Surefine labels.
What are
we bought our
Surefine
Surefine labels, where it was a grocery brand. Canned goods came with paper wrappers on them.
Oh yeah, I remember Campbell's used to do that. We always used to save the Campbell's wrappers. I
Yeah.
don't know what for, but I know we did.
Yep.
So, anyways, the larger one on the front, the smaller one on the inside. Yes, I remember saving Campbell's soup labels. I think we took those to school.
I think you did too. I think so too. Oh, and one more thing.
Okay.
One more thing. My granny, my paternal grandmother, always for our birthday, she sent green stamps. No, not green stamps. She sent stamps that would buy you some war bonds or something. Yeah.
Okay.
So we got $1 worth of stamps, and we put those in in a book, and then
Oh, I remember those.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't remember exactly, but I remember those.
I can't remember what they were called. At one point, they were called war bonds, but
Anyways, the Everybody Chill Dad is on the grill. Now, if you want to use a word from over here, you can. You would just, because it's cream, you would just take an ink pad or a brush and do tan over the top of it to kind of make it match that. So yes, if you want to use totally one of these other words, you can do that. You do you, man. But we're going to cut this. I think I have the width cut right. Because not everybody, can use with the dad. Or you can give it to your son, who's a dad. I might give it to Jake.
so you could purchase a $25 war bond for $18.75. That's how the government raised money to pay for the war.
Oh, alrighty.
They borrowed from the general population.
Mm-hmm. I am cutting a little bit off my top and my bottom. That's up to you if you want to do that or not. But depending on which word, you can use one of the other words if you want.
Your grandparents saved Camel cigarette packages. For what, Barbara? We're talking green stamps and blue chip stamps and S&H green stamps and all that stuff. But I didn't hear about Camel cigarette packages.
So, and I'm just trimming my blue. Now, this is from the It's All About the Guys paper pack. I can usually print and it usually comes fairly close. This one I actually had a hard time printing. The colors came out more like tealy than they did this color blue, so I had a hard time getting it that color. So I actually ripped some of the pages out of the It's All About the Guys pack so we could die cut these little pockets. And so in the comments sold, I think there's a few It's All About the Guys, the next comment sold, paper pads that are missing this page, so they'll be reduced just because we had to pull out that page in order to die cut these pockets.
Yes.
So this strip right here, now you could do, like, say, if you wanted to make this whole bottom part tan and then put the pockets on top of there, you could do that. Or you could, like I did on my sample, you could just cut a strip of it. So that's what we're going to do next. Oh, and you're going to need a little scrap of this blue from when we cut out the backing for our words, just to put at the top of these pockets. Or you could make them tan. So I'm going to cut just a strip of tan to go across my apron. And then you're going to cut some blue to go, you know, on the tops of the pockets. So I'm going to cut a little strip of blue too.
Oh, that's pretty nifty. Barbara said they could mail in those Camel cigarette packages for items like S&H stamps.
Oh, okay, S&H stamps, that I recall.
Yep.
So, okay, so now we're going to just attach your strip kind of wherever you want it. And you might need to trim the length just a hair. So yeah, we've been down all kinds of memory lane tonight.
Wow, yeah. Yeah. I was talking to a friend yesterday, a dancing friend of mine, and he was celebrating his dad's 100th birthday.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, so is he lucid? And he said, well, yeah, we sat and talked to him, and he could remember every house he bought and how much he paid for it and what the interest rate was and what the address was and what the telephone number was.
Wow.
All of that stuff. He said we just went back to memory lane, but we didn't talk about current things.
Right.
And probably his dad doesn't remember that so much. Betty Crocker that we cut out, and that's how I got my stainless ware.
Oh, I remember cutting out the little proof of purchase or the little thing, you know, the little points that were on the Betty Crocker and the General Mills stuff.
Oh yeah, I remember that too.
Yeah. In fact, in a drawer at home, when I was cleaning out a drawer, I still had some of the and this was from when my kids were little, the milk lids. They used to have the milk lids that we used to take in to school. You know, we would collect them and the kids would have a contest, and then they must have got stuff, the move for milk or the 5-cent whatever.
Yep.
So so I used, hang on one second, I used foam tape to attach the pockets. So use foam tape to attach your little pockets. So yeah. And now I think they do everything online.
Yeah, they do, don't they?
Because I asked somebody, you know, do you guys still collect milk caps, the bottle caps from the milk jugs? Nope.
And you used to go out and sell candy to earn your way to Y Camp and all of those kinds of things. I don't think they do that anymore either, because maybe not too safe today. But
yeah.
Do you like that glue gun, Sarah?
Oh, I love my glue gun. I am not a wet glue girl. Definitely not a wet glue girl. I was an anti-wet glue girl. And with the precision glue press, I do use it for little stuff.
Hey, Barbara Hiles read or heard a bit of essential oil on a Q-tip will take off glue from Mirror Card.
Oh, okay.
She said she hasn't tried it yet, but it might be worth a try.
Okay.
Thanks, Barbara.
Yeah. So our little pocket or our little apron, we have our, this is the top, and I'm just going to put some tape on the back of here and attach it. And then I'm going to use foam tape and attach the whole apron to the front of the card. So a little bit of foam tape. I've never heard that before with the mirror card. But
yeah.
If somebody tries it, let me know. Always looking for tips and tricks.
Yes.
So you might have to play with that a little to find out how high you want that. But then you can just use foam tape on the back of here and attach that to the front of the card.
Barbara R. says her wrists are so sore lately that it's hard to squeeze the glue bottle, so that's why she was asking if you like that.
Mm-hmm. Now, it does get hard to squeeze if you leave the top off for days.
Oh, yeah.
So,
okay.
Not recommended, because I used it on Saturday. I came in here, I don't know, yesterday, and it was still sitting here, without the lid on it, and it got a little, they say you can just kind of pull, if you are working with it and it's gunked up, you can just pull that off. Well, that didn't work. I actually had to stick this on there, to punch it through, and the first time it was hard to squeeze. So yeah, not recommended to leave the top off for days.
Okay, that another tips and tricks.
Yeah. Then it was a little bit hard, but used it on Saturday. I forgot to put it away, and a few days later, I could still get glue out of it. So
Peggy Paghetti has used lemon oil, and it worked on the Miri card.
Oh.
Just takes a small drop.
Of lemon oil?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, Peggy. It's a great tip.
What was the first one? Essential oil?
Essential oil.
Okay.
And Laura Siegel says the box tops for education are now all online.
Okay. Yep, that box tops for education. And it used to be the milk containers too. Yeah, I couldn't give those away. I had a whole thing about it that somebody's going to win in their classroom because they're going to bring a whole bag of them. And
Yeah.
I couldn't even give them away.
Yeah, Jean Vetter, your first car was a 1970 Chevelle, was $2,200. That was a deal. Bogey's first car was a Chevy Monza, Corvair Monza, in 1962, and it was right around that same price, $2,500, somewhere in there.
Now, when you're putting your words on, you're going to pop these up with foam tape. But if you want it a little bit higher, like if you're going to use foam tape in the area that doesn't have the apron behind it, but if you want it just a hair higher, you're going, like if you want it popped off but you don't want double foam tape, you're going to take your trick of using a couple layers of cardstock on it first, and then foam tape just where and this is some of my scrap cardstock from my strips on one of the other cards. And you don't have to do this, but you can if you want to. So, okay, back to the class is going to, this class might go kind of fast. And my mom said, no, 8 o'clock. It's now 10 to 8. So I just need to stop saying that because it's never going to happen. And I need to ask for more time in Crafter's classroom.
So Laura Siegel, your parents bought that house for $21,000 in 1962. That was a lot of money in 1962. Bogey and I bought our first house. It was a converted old Victorian home. It was converted to a 2-apartment, and we bought that in 1963 for $15,900 or $16,000. And 16, let's just say $16,000. Yeah.
So,
and then we bought our second home in go ahead, Sarah.
Well, so on here, I built it up with cardstock first, and then I just put one thing of foam tape where it's going to attach right here, and then just regular adhesive on here that's going to attach to the front of the apron. So that's the finishing touch for that one. So, okay, go ahead.
So that house we bought for $16,000 in 1963 on 3rd Street,
Yeah.
sold in 2015 or 16 for $175,000.
Holy schmoly.
Yeah. We were wishing then we could just think of all the money we'd have saved if we would have just stayed there and done some renovation. The second house we bought was on Prospect Avenue, and we paid $21,000 for it in 1972. No, that's a lie. 1969.
All right, well, there are our cards for the day. This is our Fun Time Thursday with our Grillin and Chillin. And yeah, that was a fun class. Chilled a little. And yeah, and went down memory lane.
Yes.
That was probably the best part of the night. So anyways.
No, I don't think so. But it was fun.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing, guys, and we will see you next week. And watch this weekend for the new classes being posted and also the specials on the sale page that are all about the blue.
Great cards, great conversation. You're absolutely right, ladies. Thanks for fun time.
Bye, guys.
Bye.